name is Ruckus. Thanks for joining. Please like, subscribe, and share. 10-8. What's going on, guys? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and to mums of the mums. Happy Mother's Day. It's a nice day here. I don't know how it is where you guys are at, but it's really nice here. But my wife and her sister are hanging out with their mom, and so it's a good day. It's a good day. Faye, how are you? We're getting back into the regular grind here. I've done some call-in shows. Hi, Jill. And unfortunately, when I have a guest on, I let them voice their opinion. I don't have much control over it. I don't want to be honest with you. But unfortunately, they say what they want to say, and some people take it as my opinion. Some of it, I agree with them 100%. But some of them, but I do what I want. Everybody knows that. Hey, SP. I seen Deb's here. Mommy Wolverine. SP74. How are you? Simon, how are you, sir? Good to see you in here. Ziggy, 1967. What's going on? CJK. Now I have a not a special guest. What's up, Stay Pressed? But I have somebody that's going to pop in. He's a defense attorney, so he knows a little bit about what he's talking about. And I just wanted him to clear a few things up for me and see if he can help me out with some of these personal issues that I'm enduring. But today's most of the time today we're going to talk about the media and what role they play in these cases. At the beginning of the case, at the end of the case, during the case. We've all seen it. Recently, there was a young Air Force airman who got shot and killed up at Fort Walton Beach, up in Delray by the Redneck Riviera is what we call it. And the media put out right away that the officer, it was an apartment complex, and he went to the wrong house, and he kicked the door in, and he covered up the peephole so that whoever was inside couldn't see it. And none of that was true. They put out the body camera about an hour later, and none of that was true. It was all a bunch of shit. So they do play a role. What up, Hugh? Hey, good deal. The notifications are fucked up on YouTube. It just is. But in because it's Mother's Day, instead of just having a bourbon or a whiskey, I'm having a little cocktail. Thank you very much. Is it too early to keep drinking? But I do what I want. We all know that. I do what I want. Oh, and for you people from the 80s, you know this one, right? You know what they say? Mm. You know what they say if you can tie a a cherry stem into a knot in your mouth, you know what you're good at. If you guys want to see me do that, type a 1 in the chat because I'm a professional. Brandon, my brother, what's going on? Sleuth, good to see you, man. Happy Mother's Day to you and your mother and wife and sisters if you have some. All right. Just trying to catch up with everybody here, saying hello. Tattoo you, what's going on? Shane, what's up, mate? Swings and roundabouts, my friend. Swings and roundabouts. James, what's going on? How are you doing? I love Mother's Day, to be honest with you. And this is my first year without my mom. My mom passed away between this Mother's Day and last Mother's Day. So it's kind of odd, you know. Big Fish, hello. I'm glad you did make it. And feel free to speak your mind in here. Today's not a bitch fest. It's not a drama fest. I've had 2 weeks of that. I'm over it. Hey, Bossy, how are you? Yes, and Jinx, thank you so much. Jinx, awesome, guys. This will do nicely. She always puts in links to other creators, even creators that aren't here right now. If they're creators that she likes, and all the mods can do the same thing. If there's other creators that you like or you want to promote, throw their links in here. That's what it's all about. We're a community. Well, let's see. Okay, you guys want to see me? I don't want to get any emails or marriage proposals or anything like that. But you guys know what that means, right? If you can tie a cherry stem in your mouth, you know what that means, right? But here it goes. I'll show you. Where? Oh, say. See? You know what that means? I'm a keeper. But we get enough of the sleight of hand. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Root. But it's no longer where we just watch one or two news stations and get the newspaper. Hi, Miranda Lee. How are you, dear? You know, we just from YouTube. You can get your news just from YouTube. And some of the coverage is fantastic. But the ones that just play by the rules, they won't last. They won't last. They have to be first, you know? Oh, thank you, Stephanie. We're all heading there, though. You know, we're all heading there. It's not a sad day for me. It's a happy day. As long as I'm still alive, she is, right? That's the way I look at it. And I had a twin brother who died at birth. Can you imagine two of me? And I'm the quiet one? But if we remember in this case, at the beginning, the press conferences, right? The pressers. Doug Carter, that 2019 presser, he was definitely reading off of a script. And it was probably by, the FBI team that wrote that up for him, the behavioral analysis people who profiled um, who they thought the killer was and how to talk to them. Josh DePosh, what's up? Happy Mother's Day to you and yours. It's good to see all you guys. It's Mother's Day, and I figured I'd do it around 2 once everybody get home from lunch, but I figure everybody's on different time zones. Okay, listen, Mommy, I do what I want. Maybe you didn't get the memo, but I'm going to edit this video later of me putting it in my mouth and then real quick, and then so only you guys know my secret. So if it gets out, I know it came from one of these 64 people. Alrighty. Let me get my Stoga fired up. Maybe we can find you a Velcro system. Need to find me something, Ash. I'm no good on my own. Obviously. Obviously. There we go. Much better. But these pressers, they're using the media for a reason, and they do it for a reason. And the media knows this. They know this. When you get like court TV and stuff like that, um, they deliver it differently than the local news does, but they all have the same purpose. They all have the same purpose. Stephanie, I was tying a cherry stem into a knot in my mouth. And people say I have a big mouth. I couldn't even get my fat little hands in there. I'm not touching that one, Mommy. Not with a 10-foot pole. Hey, it's Mother's Day. How about a little respect? Jeez Louise. But I don't want to keep this defense attorney sitting in the background for too long. So I'm going to get more into the YouTube stuff after I talk about the mainstream media and how both sides are using it, how law enforcement uses it all over the country. So, and evidently now defense attorneys are as well. It's a good tool. I'm not mad at them. This is a good tool. But in this YouTube community, there's there's people that they just have big mouths. They're miserable. They talk a lot of shit. And they lie. They don't bring any facts to the table. They bring nothing to the conversation whatsoever. And there's a few people that this particular defense attorney knows a little bit about. He has a background on them, and so he knows a little bit about them. Hey, Shane. And like I said, I don't want this to be a drama, and it's not going to be. That's not what this is about. But there's people out there with big mouths, and they make stupid lives, and they don't take anybody's feelings into consideration, and they're just crazy. Some of them are old, crazy old fuckers. But if you could, I'm going to bring my guest in here for a second, and he's just going to identify the crazy fuckers for us. So, if you could just give him a second, and he's going to let us know who the crazy fuckers are and who you can't trust and all that. And I just want to give him just a minute of our time. Okay, and unfriend F. Lee Bailey. Fucking asshole. Gail, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Because God knows I only do this for the money. But you get ISP, right? When their public information officer put out that PSA saying if anybody's been in contact with the Anthony Shots account, please call this tip line. Well, that was the Delphi tip line, the FBI Delphi tip line. So they're all working together, at least in both of those cases, the Delphi case and the Anthony Shots case. But they did that for a reason. They want to get information out there, and they want people to be aware of what's going on. But they deliver it in their way, in a very prepared way, unlike me. If you guys that don't know, my opinion means shit. Means nothing. I have zero impact on this case or any other one. I do like to work with families, be hands-on. But as far as doing these kind of things, my opinion doesn't mean anything. And if you value my opinion, I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, I could be wrong on things. But these are just, and it's an educated opinion. I'm not just pulling shit out of my ass. But the rumor from RA supporters is Carroll County has evidence locked up so FBI can't get to it. All FBI would have to do is get a federal warrant. I don't believe that. I've never seen anything like that ever happen. But I don't believe that's the case. There's a lot of rumors going around, even in the national media. You have to kind of pick and choose, what you're going through. And there's people that I've talked to behind the scenes that nobody would believe what they know. And, they don't have YouTube channels and stuff like that. And so it's up to you to vet what you can, take what information you get, and look at it, and then make a decision. Make a decision. It's not personal for me. None of this is personal. I don't dislike other creators. If we met on different circumstances, I mean, now there'd be some animosity maybe, but not from me, not coming from my side. I mean, who wouldn't like me? I'm a fucking delight. I'm a crazy old bastard, but I'm an absolute delight. So ISP's using the media, right? And to me, I think they did it effectively. They did it effectively. They let out just enough. And Doug Carter talked to even small media groups, which I thought was cool. He didn't have to. He didn't have to talk to these people. He doesn't have to talk to anybody, to be honest with you. They have a public information officer, but he's controlling the narrative. And by narrative, I don't mean what happened with this crime. He's controlling the narrative that's getting out there that can help assist them in what they're doing, not hinder. I don't think he's talking in parables um, at all. At all. He's very calculated and prepared, and he should be, as are the defense attorneys. Now, that that day where they stepped down, right, after the meeting in the chambers, Baldwin came out and he was visibly upset and said, journalists, it's time to start doing your job. Now, I'm here to tell you, journalists don't need to be told to do their job. I'm not saying that was a calculated statement, but he wanted to get his point across. And he did. And it's effective. Look what's going on today. So bravo to him as well. The defense, when they're releasing things, and I'm not talking leaks and all that stuff, that'll all play out. That'll all come out in the end, right? We don't even need to worry about that. But he's letting stuff get out, and just with their filings and stuff, so that they can test the temperature of the water, see the response to it. And I'm sure that YouTube plays a part in that, but YouTube is a very, very small community in true crime, very small. I don't use Reddit or Facebook or anything like that, but there's many more people that use that stuff and communicate on that stuff. And I'm sure that they participate in that, and well, they probably have as well. They probably have a few people dedicated to those social medias as well, including um, Twitter or X, it's called now. But there's a gag order, so they have to be not slick, but they have to be careful. There's a better word. They have to be careful at what they let out, where they let it out, and how they let it out. Hey, Cynthia, happy Mother's Day. Silas, what's going on? But you get Phil Bond, happy Mother's Day, okay, babe? But you get your news from all sides, right? If you want to look this case up, my computer's as smart as yours. My phone's as smart as yours. I put in the Delphi murders, and there's a bevy of information. I have a lot of options and choices, don't I? And they're all different. They're all different. They all have different points of view. Even if you take two totally neutral position media outlets, they don't have an opinion one way or another on this case. They'll report it differently based on their audience. So, yeah, bossy, I hear you. There's a lot of good people in here, and I try and say hi to everybody, or at least get them up on the screen here, so that if you're just watching, casually watching on your TV or whatever, you can see what's going on with the chat. The other night on Crime to Sleep, I had no control over the chat, so I like to put as much as I can up on the screen here so people can see it. But you get the wrong media outlet that's just worried about being first and being sensational. They're still not going to damage the case. They're still not going to damage the case, and they're going to get the effect that they want. I mean, you won't see Vinny Politano tying cherry stems in his mouth. You only get that here. You got to come here for that kind of stuff. But he's he's sensational too. I mean, you look. He's an attorney. He was a prior attorney. He probably still does have a certification, the board or whatever. But he's very animated. If you look at his facial expressions and his nonverbal communications and stuff like that. But all newscasters do that, and I think he's great at what he does. I watch court TV, but you just have to, you have to kind of take the information, filter it, you know, and come to your own conclusion. Now, there's some things, that I'll have an opinion on about evidence and stuff like that, what's important and what's not. And it may turn out that it's not important, but I'm going to give you an example just to show you how things go, right? I mentioned the motorcycle cover and that it's going to be important. It's going to come into play. And then, and I don't blame people. Then they ask, well, why? Why would you say that? He didn't even have a motorcycle, right? And then I said, well, because there's track marks on it. And that's as far as I wanted to go with it. That's it. And those track marks tied him to the crime scene, right? Then people were saying, well, how could he ride a motorcycle there during the night? And I don't want to get too deep into it. So then I just started explaining, yes, he can ride a motorcycle there. I never said there's motorcycle tracks on that motorcycle cover. I don't know what kind of tracks they are, but they tie him to that crime scene. And it is an important piece of evidence. By itself, it may not be important, but coupled with other things that they have, it is important. Well, it got to the point where people went and tracked down um, what motorcycle his dead brother-in-law had and where it went and the registration for it and all that. I thought it was funny. I mean, it's good. It's good sleuthing. I mean, you're being thorough, but I never said that. I just said that, hey, all of this is possible. And he did return. But, he could have walked. He could have stepped on that motorcycle cover. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. But that's what I'm talking about. That thing spun in very short time into, oh, Ruckus is saying that he rode his motorcycle back there. And no, I was just having a conversation saying that it's possible. I might not like your friend Ruckus, but I like you. I heard you got another friend earlier. I may rearrange my focus. Okay. Hey, do you know LA, Philly? If you don't, you need to go check him out. LA'sthebomb.com. He's a good dude. Little short motherfucker with a lisp and a shiny ass face, but other than that, he's all right. Yeah, but CJK, the influence, I agree. And this is why I wanted to talk about YouTube, how important YouTube is. It's not. It's not at all. If you're spending any time on your YouTube channel as a creator talking about me, just think about who you're trying to convince. you know, I'm not going to sit here and try and convince you guys of anything. I'll tell you my opinion, but I'm not going to badmouth people and shit like that. And it's not hard to bait people. When I get a couple drinks in me, I'll put a comment on my community post, and I never keep the community post stuff up. Hey, Bama, how are you? Thank you. Same to you. But I'll bait them, and it doesn't take long for them to take that bait. And it cracks me up that they're even watching me, worried about what I'm saying or doing, because I don't take it that seriously. This is a serious case. My opinion of it is not anything to be taken seriously. It's an opinion. And a lot of people don't like that, but I mean, I don't know what to tell you. When I say I could care less what people think of me, I mean that, including the people that you're trying to convince that I'm an asshole. I don't care what they think either. I don't think any of us really know too much about this case. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have inside information. I don't have any of that. But you talk to enough people and you vet things, even if not the whole thing vets out, some of it vets out, and then you talk to somebody else weeks later, and that gives you that missing piece. It's not hard, guys. It's not hard to figure shit out. And like I said, my opinion could be totally wrong. Totally wrong. I doubt it. I've only been wrong once in my whole life, and that's this one time when I thought I made a mistake, but I didn't. And that's the only time I've been wrong. I don't know. Think about that, Rocket. I follow channels that have millions of followers. True crime is a huge community. Broaden your YouTube horizons. No, thank you. I like right where my horizon's at. It's like right here. Hasn't gotten over my eyes yet. I don't have to save my watch. But I'm working on other cases as well. So, and I just talked to, for you guys that are interested in Evansdale and stuff like that, I just had a conversation with Drew the other night. You talk about a nice guy. Talk about a guy who's been through hell and back. And he's the nicest guy you ever want to meet. Yeah, CJK, I know. And the other night on Crime to Sleeps, I figured we could put some of that to bed, but no, that just fueled it. That just fueled it. At Ruckus Rocks, you are a delight. Thank you. I disagree is their calculated release of info. Why they keep asking us for tips when they hadn't even looked into all the people in the town, etc., from the start. You have to gather as much information as you can, Big Fish. All of it. I mean, think about it. If you were trying to find something out about somebody or something, you just don't go to one source. And the more information you get put in, you can go through and see where there's connections and where they fit together. I'm sure that 90% of those tips that they received, of the thousands and thousands, were shit, were nothing. You know, I'm willing to bet you that 50% of those tips that turned out to be nothing were exes bitching about that their ex did it, just trying to get them roped off. Happy Mother's Day, Rescue. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. But law enforcement has to take every single tip and take it seriously until it's not. So, and that's why with the defense getting all of this information, yeah, 26 terabytes. That's a lot of information. But a lot of that law enforcement, it wasn't any good. But to save that, hey, you're hiding exculpatory information, you give them everything. You give them everything except for the shit that you recorded over. I'm just joking about that. But they you know, and all that's going to play. It's going to come into play. I mean, that's a mistake. Use whatever name you want for that, a fuck up, whatever. It's going to come back into play. It's going to come back into play. And they're going to have to eat that. There's nothing they can do. They've got to eat that. But they have to move along. You know, they did a synopsis of those interviews and they know what was said. The synopsis says what it was said in that interview. So they're fine. And fortunately, all those folks are still alive. They can be interviewed again. Now, from what I heard, and again, it may be rumor, that Westfall or Westfield, whatever his name is going after the defense team for slander. I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard that he hired an attorney and he's going after them for putting his. Now, can you imagine? Think about this for a second. That memo in support of the Franks, right? They named names in there. They better be damn sure that they were right, because otherwise they're going to be subject to litigation. I don't know how Indiana works, but you know, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that that's a no-no, putting people's names like that, saying that they did it. Now that's dedication to a client, no doubt about that. I've said this before, I'll say it again, I'll hire them in a second. But they're dedicated and they're doing a fantastic job. I would not want to be in their shoes because Richard Allen is doing everything in his power to make himself look guilty. That's just what I'm looking at. So they're behind the eight ball. They have to now. The newest information is that he confessed or made incriminating statements during that non-custodial interview, which I'm sure quickly turned into custodial if he made incriminating statements. But how do you combat that? How do you fight that? And that's before he went to the prison. So right out the chute. And that's probably you remember way back when they asked for the bond hearing, they said the PC was weak and all that stuff. But I don't think that PC is weak, by the way. But they want to have a bond hearing. They're saying you don't have enough here to even charge him with that. He needs the charges need to be changed, and you need to give him a bond. Well, then once they receive some of that discovery and they've seen the statements that he made, which they probably have the audio and video of those statements as well, not just the transcripts. Well, then they want to change it to a suppression. And I'm not mad at him. I'm not saying that they're doing the wrong thing. I'm not upset. This is part of, and I hate to use this word, but this is part of the game. This is the dance. This is what happens in these cases. I'm less than dumb when it comes to litigations. Less than dumb. You'd have to talk to somebody else about that stuff. But I understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. Oh, got bumped down a little bit. Sorry about that. You're a masturbate or laugh my. It's not hard to bait people, Big Fish. You know that. It's not. And is it right to do that? No, absolutely not. But I get a couple cocktails in me and I decide to have fun. What the hell? Who cares? Hey, Teresa. Teresa, that was funny as hell when I went into your chat the other day. I go in there because of you. No other reason, because I love you to death. You're a beautiful human being. You crack me up. What you see is what you get with you. But I couldn't even follow your chat. I have so many people blocked. It looks like only two people are talking in there. So it wasn't even worth it. And I seen that, people were like, they feel like they're talking to nobody. So I might as well leave and then they can talk to nobody. But I always go back and rewatch. And Teresa, you and I don't agree on hardly anything at all. When you did that live about the motorcycle and tracking it down and all that, I was cracking up. Happy Mother's Day to you too, and your tiny humans love you. I know they do. The way you interact with your kids is beautiful too, by the way, Teresa. And nobody minds in your live that you have to pause. And just do me a favor and keep the microphone on because I think it's cute as hell the way they talk to you. Hey, Sparky. But and that was one of my points, Teresa, that I was just making. That you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to trust me. You don't even have to like me. You don't have to watch me. I never got into this to battle with other people and other YouTubers, tit for tat and stuff like that. Do I think it's funny? Yes. But when I see people that are making fun of other people, sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not, depending on the person. Because people make fun of me all the time. They make videos about me all the time. And I think it's funny. But I don't think it's funny when they do it to people that I think they're hurting their feelings. you know. And I do what I want, no doubt about it, but I do not want to hurt people's feelings. That's not what I ever try and do. And the other night, like I said, I got a little buzz and I put some comments on my community page because I had just seen Michael Osbrook in somebody else's live chat, basically calling me a slime. So that's why I put that on there, saying, I'd love to have him on my live, which I wouldn't. I don't have anything to say to that guy. I was just trying to push his buttons, which is childish. It's stupid. That's why I took it down. But I just, every once in a while, I'll get a buzz on and I'll bait these bastards. I am unbaitable. And as far as debates go, I mean, going in what your opinion is already. If it's a discussion, I love discussions. If it's a debate, yeah, I'm out. Cops don't debate. You tell me no, I snatch you up. That's yes. There ain't no talking about it. And I'll admit to that. It's character flaw. I'm working on it. It's like when I laugh when I see something funny. It's character flaw. Yeah, but there's a difference, though, Big Fish. There's tons of other things in the discovery. There's tons of other names in the discovery. But those particular people, the defense team found out that they lost those interviews, so they had an in. They probably looked at, well, Keegan Kline, Tony Klein, um, Ron Logan, Logan Maxwell. They had an in with those guys. That's why they went that route. Still doesn't make it right to put their names. They didn't need to put their names. They could have left that whole thing sealed, right? But they're doing their job. They're trying to get the temperature of the public. And obviously, it's not illegal to do that, but they may face civil charges on it. They may get hit in the pocketbook. They're still not done with the contempt stuff. The judge has turned that over. Now, she's she does not like them. There's no doubt in my mind. She doesn't care for those two guys at all. They don't care for her browbeating browbeating them, saying they were sloppy and all that. And I don't blame them. None of that needed to be in there. I'm not being one-sided here at all. They all need to communicate better and try and come to the goal of finding out who did this. You know, Hi, Duchess. Instead of going after each other, it's just like it's getting to be like they're on YouTube or something. They're attacking each other. But I personally, I don't have a problem with any creators. If they put out false information and they do it on purpose, that's on them. They got to sleep at night. I've never put out anything that I didn't honestly think was true. And F. Lee Bailey just pointed me out as the crazy old bastard. We got to go with what he says. He's pretty smart, and he's from Boston, so that should tell you something. No, today's a cocktail hybrid. I have a freezer door bottle with Manhattan in it. I pre-make it and put it on the freezer door. All right, got behind again. Excuse me. But you get hey Mandy, I haven't seen you for a while. You get information that's coming from two different sources. And one person will tell this person and tell this person, and these two satelliting people will embellish it or add and remove things, and you never get what came straight from the source anyway. I'm sure that I have embellished things unintentionally. Just as you're talking, um, you say something that you really didn't follow up on. You didn't ask them. You forget to ask them something or whatever. So you just kind of fill that gap. Well, that's no good. Filling gaps is no good. If you're doing an investigation and you have to fabricate a timeline, even a little bit of it, it's no good. You got to go back to square one again. and get it all figured out. This timeline thing is crazy. It's crazy how much it's changed, what could happen, what couldn't happen. I've seen shit that you wouldn't believe could happen in a certain time frame happen. So, I won't say never on that. And I stopped saying I've seen everything a long time ago, because as soon as I say that, something happens. But you get your information, and it's from, if you consider YouTube the media, then you get 100 of your percent of your information from the media, either watching TV, coming on YouTube, going on Reddit, going on Facebook. Um, we may not be journalists, but we're here to present information, right? Why? Because we like it. There's no other reason for it. There's not a lot of money in this. There's not a lot of fame or anything like that. I don't have any ambitions or anything like that. Hi, Lynn. Of moving up or anything like that. I like right where I'm at. I'm a crazy old bastard who just happens to be retired law enforcement, and I get bored easily. What up, Delphi dummies? But that's all I really had for today. I didn't want to go into it. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to compete with anybody. But just keep in mind that law enforcement is using the media. The defense team is using the media. The prosecution is using the media. And also the media is using them. So you just got to take whatever information that you can get your hands on and talk to people about it. Don't debate, don't argue. If you don't agree with them, that's fine. It's like I said, Teresa and I don't agree on much of anything. And we get along just fine. Don't have a problem. Big Fish and I don't see eye to eye on anything. And I think she's a sweetheart. Yeah, that whole thing, I agree. I agree with that 100%. Now, I would tell you that I am pro law enforcement, not pro prosecution, not pro system, not pro judge, pro law enforcement. And my boys have already done their job and turned it over. So, yeah, I agree, Shane. But listen, I mean, if that's their prerogative, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. I just want you guys to know that that's not ever my intention. If something's funny, I'll say it, whether it's about me or about somebody else. You know. Yeah, you're right, Cheeks. I am too smart. I'm wicked smart. But I'm just doing what I want. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you want to get the truth, Teresa? Talk to a drunk person or a child. You know how many kids have asked me what happened to my hair in the stores, all that. What happened to your hair? There it was, gone. I mentioned you in a video recently. I think I described you as cleverer than he. You see, you say I'm clever, and then you put a word that I can't pronounce in there. I see what you're doing. I got your number, sign. No, I'm not clever. I've just done it. I've just seen it. I've been around it. The shit feels right. From what I tell you guys, my opinion, it just feels right because I've been around it. I know what they're up to. I know what law enforcement did to get where they're at, you know? But I just want to come on, talk a little shit, have a cigar, and wish all the mums out there, and the mums of the mums, and the great grandmums, and the mums of the past, who will never forget, right? Happy Mother's Day. And you guys don't take any wooden nickels. And if you have any questions for me, please send him the Delphi Dummies, and he'll make a video about it. Or Ashley, or who's the other one? Cryptex. If you guys didn't see that video that Cryptex did, he cut and pasted words, and it made it look like saying, I love to talk 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's wrong. I know it's wrong. It's hilarious. I just showed it to my wife and my sister-in-law today, and they were laughing their ass off. I love that stuff. I love that stuff. Alrighty. Let me just get to the bang here. There we go. Happy Mother's Day. Hey, Boston Christian, I didn't catch you. Yes, in our little community here, yes. It shouldn't affect anybody's real life, but I don't expect everybody to think like I do. I'm not a tough guy. I'm not gonna threaten to blow your brains out or anything like that, you know, but I know nobody's gonna come here. For what? What did they come here for? You know? But I will catch you guys later on the flip side, as the kids say, and, don't take any wooden nickels, guys. Thanks for spending a little time with me. Enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day.
My name is Ruckus. Thanks for hanging out. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm 10-7.